Tired of big tech clashing with your Catholic values? Feday Chat is now live on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. It's private, encrypted, and built by Catholics for Catholics, with features like parental controls and more. Connect securely with family, friends, and groups. Download Feday Chat at feday.email. Technology without compromise. Out of Detroit, we get another major hit. Archbishop Weissenberger is busily remaking the Archdiocese of Detroit into a playground for James Martin types. You'll recall that the Archbishop of Detroit recently made waves by canning good Catholic professors from key posts in the seminary for having the audacity to defend Catholicism and Catholic teaching on morality against the incursions of Rome, specifically by Pope Francis and Cardinal Fernandez, against marriage, the family, and activities suited to the married state. Three men, Dr. Ralph Martins, Eduardo Echeverria, and Edward Peters, were all fired for the high crime and misdemeanor of being Catholic in their theology. They were, by all standards, post-Vatican II conservatives. I don't think any of them would qualify as a traditionalist by any serious observer in the church in America. Traditionally minded, at least on matters of morality, though, yes. I'll give you an example. Dr. Ralph Martins is associated with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal, which prior to Francis was derided by most conservatives as being liturgically and theologically liberal. Pope Francis provided some clarity in that at the very least, the powers that do not want Catholicism in the Catholic Church don't care at all if you're a traditionalist or merely a conservative dedicated to the hermeneutic of continuity. Under Francis, we were told that they were just merely implementing Vatican II finally, that it had been done too slowly, and we're just going to finish the job now. And then I told you who were canned in the Archdiocese of Detroit were not anti-Vatican II people. They were, in the post-conciliar sense of things, on the team, whether they were conservatives or moderates. And the revolution must continue. And they were the ones who were swept away in the last few weeks. The powers that should not be, can everyone involved in upholding the old faith in any way, if needed, in order to implement their new religion on the church. Now, in Detroit, the next phase of purging good men has begun. And I will turn here to Lepanto Institute for this striking story. Headline: Archbishop Weissenberger's new ombudsman, tied to heretical pro-James Martin network of priests. Talking here about the Association of U.S. Catholic Priests. It's a heretical, James Martin-loving organization that denies the Catholic faith on numerous issues, especially on matters of the flesh. It's an association of heretic priests that is allowed to openly operate in America. In some dioceses, good bishops will tell their priests not to join that organization and will prevent them from holding events in their diocese, including speaking events. Because priests, if they're of the type who get to travel and give conference talks and things, have to get the permission of the local ordinary to speak in the diocese. And some of the better bishops will prevent these guys from coming into their diocese at all, including not allowing their priests to become members. That's not the case in even the majority of the dioceses, because the prevailing attitude, even by better bishops in the church today, is that traditionalist voices need to be pushed to the corner at the very least, if not silenced entirely. And the radicals on the other side, maybe you push them to the corner, but you don't silence them. There might be some extreme case where you can say they do silence some, but the Association of the United States Catholic Priests is one of the worst, and they're tolerated. So let me show you what Lepanto has gotten here on this, because this is the remaking of the Archdiocese of Detroit with a James Martin face continues apace. Quote: following the switch crackdown on the traditional Latin Mass and the firing of 3 faithful theology professors, Archbishop Edward Weissenberger appointed a new ombudsman who was once indicated as a member of the Heretical Association of U.S. Catholic Priests. The Archbishop entered his new appointment with the force of a mudslide and continues to devastate the church in his new office, his new diocese. His appointment to the Archdiocese of Detroit was among the last of Pope Francis's official acts before his death. Installed on 18th of March 2025, it took Archbishop Weissenberger only 1 month to announce a complete ban on the traditional Latin Mass effective 1st of July. 3 weeks later, he would sack 3 prominent and highly revered professors of the Sacred Heart Seminary, Dr. Ralph Martin, Dr. Eduardo Echeverria, and Dr. Edward Peters. But what's slipped slightly under the radar is that around the same time, Archbishop Weissenberger appointed Father David Bursmeyer as the new ombudsman for the Archdiocese. The Archbishop stated in his letter that his duties in this capacity are as follows. Now, this is the duties you're going to hear given to an openly heretical priest. He'll provide a neutral space to discuss interpersonal interactions that may fall short of our expectations for professional and pastoral conduct. If a priest has an interaction with a member of the Chancery staff, which in his estimation is less than helpful in terms of the Chancery's employees' ministerial employment, or if a Chancery employee has an interaction with a priest, which in her estimation is less than respectful or appropriate, the concerned party can choose to discuss the interaction with the ombudsman. Father Bursmeyer will do an informal review of the issue, including an interview with the colleague in question, in order to resolve the matter at the source level. If that is not possible, Father Bursmeyer will be empowered to escalate the matter within the Chancery chain of leadership. When you look into his past actions and associations, the Lepanto Institute has serious questions about his qualifications to properly judge such matters within the Church. So we'll pause here and note that we're about to show you that this priest has more than a decade of actions that show that he should not even be in the priesthood, let alone the ombudsman for a diocese. It's a key appointment. It's one of those kind of appointments that could lead to an appointment to the episcopate, although kind of doubt it with that kind of association, so to speak. But it's a serious office. It's one that should be taken very seriously when you see this. It's a key office for making sure things are run in a diocese the way they should be. From the article, quote, in February 2013, Father David Bursmeyer signed an open letter from the Association of Catholic Priests, the Irish version of the AUSCP, declaring support for Father Tony Flannery, Father Roy Bourgeois, and Father Bill Brennan. Father Flannery faced excommunication at the time due to his open support for women's ordination to the priesthood and his association with the ACP. Father Roy was indeed excommunicated in 2008 for refusing to repent and recant his participation in the priestly ordination of a woman. And in 2012, Father Brennan was forbidden to publicly celebrate Mass or hear confessions because he celebrated a Mass with a woman. In addition to signing onto a letter along with the heretical AUSCP, Father Bursmeyer is a longtime financial supporter of the AUSCP. According to our records, Father Bursmeyer made financial contributions to the AUSCP from 2018 to 2024, such as in the image below, and there's his name on a donors list. Given AUSCP's promotion of sacramental ordination of women, priestless lay-led parishes, James Martin activism, including the adoption of the most young by those, and a host of other deviant ideas and ideologies, there can be no justification for Bursmeyer's support for the AUSCP. But according to an AUSCP document from 2015, the priest is actually, or at least had been, a member of the group. In 2015, the organization published a document titled A Request to the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops urging full restoration and implementation of the rite of penance. At the top of the second page, the USCP thanks its members who contributed to the production of this document, naming Father David Bursmeyer. And it goes on. He's got a whole host of these association issues where he's joined a group of heretical priests and signed on to their heresies. And that is who gets promoted in the Archdiocese of Detroit. While men who got canned for defending the Catholic faith against fiducia supplicans and against Amoris Laetitia, against the evils of Cardinal Fernandez and Pope Francis, they're the ones who get canceled. And men like this get promoted. Our constant theme lately on this channel is that lately we're seeing a flurry of appointments and promotions of men who should not be in positions of authority in the church to positions of very serious authority. And they don't get punished for it. Take all the time you need to think about the implications of that. Let me know in the comments what you think of all this. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps a lot too. If you've ever thought about exploring the work we do here, a return to tradition, there are options in the description box below. All of them help keep these daily messages coming. And always, always pray for the church, pray for the men and all the people we spoke about today. I'm not trying to make you angry at them. They do that on their own. Pray for them. Pray for their souls. Their souls are on the line, as are anyone who they lead into error. I'm Anthony Stine. Ave Maria.